What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming back to you once again with an Into Somewhere in depth. We're going ahead, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by the one, the only, Cody Oneidi 316.
What's going on? This is going to be an interesting topic today because,
Yeah, going over one of your favorites.
Hate, all of it.
Absolutely. The WWE Universe has been asking this whole time, when is Liv Morgan coming back? She's been on the shelf for most, I feel like, of 2025 at this point, unfortunately. Yeah. And, we here at the show, we dig through every backstage report, every little insider whisper. We checked on recovery timelines and personal experiences, basically to figure out the most likely date for her return. And what we discovered and found with our bit of factual studying, the evidence can't be denied. It points to some seriously exciting possibilities and a potential blockbuster appearance at a massive upcoming event. Wink, wink.
Ooh.
So let's go ahead and get into how this whole thing started. Why is she on the shelf to begin with?
So she had a match with in June against Kairi Sane, who just returned at the time.
Yeah.
Herself. So it was June 16th. She it was immediately in the beginning of the match too. Like bear no chance. Liv Morgan landed wrong on her shoulder. This is like one of those freak accidents, like you aren't expecting. But how she landed looked so nasty, and you could just see her shoulder pop out of place. And I believe it was also separated as well.
Yes. So she had the dislocation and the separation. Had it just been dislocated like she had hoped, she would have made a pretty quick recovery. When they popped that in the socket again, it's basically feeling better. But yeah, this was not the best of injuries
just like
and times.
Though, like one of Raw's top stars goes poof, and you can tell the impact of her star power missing on weekly television.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she was shaping up to have basically a career-defining year. She had went ahead and been, the inaugural, I should say, winners for the women's side of the crown jewel, and she goes ahead and holds on to that title again. And she had a really stellar year. And then, she already was out with injury before. Her and Rhea are playing tag team back and forth for who gets injured and is out when. But the initial reports after the Kairi match, we saw it. Like you said, the bell rang 10 seconds into the match. She's hurt. It's over. We heard it'll be up to 6 months initially, and that would have completely wiped out the rest of the year. But one thing WWE is incredibly quiet about the timelines of injuries and their stars. I think they do it intentionally as to not overpromise or tease things that they can't deliver on. They've had no official public timeline for her return or comeback, and unfortunately, no news, how they say, is good news. Yeah, but no news also breeds a lot of rumor and speculation.
In WWE case, like no news could also be bad news because WWE spoils all of their returns beforehand.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we've seen her on red carpets at the Stranger Things premiere, and she's been very coy, kind of trollish at times, playing along with the audience because she wants her return to be a surprise. And I get it. I really do. So what do you think this all means for her return?
This is hard to pick apart what it could actually mean because Liv Morgan is one of those wrestlers that likes to feed the dirt sheet shit if she can. Rightfully so. She likes to keep kayfabe alive.
Absolutely.
So she's a very private person, so it's hard to get her to admit to things because you've seen interviews with her with Chris Van Vliet with the wedding thing. She knows what was supposed to happen, and then Chris asks her, like, what's going to happen? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
she'll never let the inside details out.
She's the ultimate entertainer. Absolutely.
Initial reports are saying early 2026. Some say Survivor Series is a good return.
Yeah.
So that's the two balance beam right now. Survivor Series on one, Royal Rumble on the other.
Yeah.
So where do you think this could lead out to?
So we've seen so many rumors, and so many times now have people thought, oh, she's wearing the color purple, she's returning tonight. Everything became a clue. All the speculation and all the drama boiled over into this fan. I don't want to call it mania, but in the lines of that, because you see people, oh, she's there at Madison Square Garden, she's returning and then she's not even ended up being in the back. So it is definitely
let's just
what
clear
people are
something out
clamoring
here.
for. Yeah.
Because sometimes like I think they did a Raw in Birmingham or whatever, and she was backstage for that Raw. That doesn't mean she's going to return if she's backstage. Like if a Raw's near where she lives, she might stop by and visit. That's just a
Absolutely.
visiting thing.
We said initially, and we talked about the Royal Rumble surprise of things. I mean, that's been our initial prediction / timeline. You've had, shoulder surgery. I've dealt with many surgeries. I'm heading into number 30 myself. I know timelines to a certain extent. No, I'm no orthopedic surgeon, but combining that with what was being reported saying that she is
just example. Can you
doing
explain to
well
people real quick? And I hate to go off topic here, but
no.
like shoulder injuries, because like early on, like I believe it was in like August or whatever, people pointed out that she was out of the sling.
Yes.
Can you explain to people like you're not in a sling?
Yeah, you don't want to keep yourself immobilized after surgery until the stitches are set and everything starts to heal. The sling limits mobility, obviously. That's the purpose of it, and to remove the weight. So you have different weight distribution. If you keep your arm like that, you're going to atrophy the muscles. You're going to lose strength. It's a big process. So obviously she's following what she needs to do in physical therapy, and she's making great strides. They said that she's healing well. From what we've heard, and basically the last thing that said was that rehab is going well. She's may even be ahead of schedule. So when we look at the Royal Rumble surprise, here's the thing: they're in Riyadh for January 31st, the first time that the Rumble will ever be held outside of North America. And this date is very strategic. Why? Because fans are basically saying that Morgan is beyond popular in Saudi. She is extremely over there, and this is coming from WWE themselves. So they said that a surprise entrance in the Rumble match in front of a crowd that absolutely loves her would be a truly electric moment. And the Rumble's built for surprises.
Crowd reactions though there. Like Liv Morgan is probably gets one of the biggest pops of the night every time they're there.
Her, Rhea, there's only a few that get to that stone cold level. And here's the thing. If she comes back at the Rumble, we would kind of be spoiled, we've heard, because they're announcing entrance a few weeks before. Because of how it works, they can't really have surprises in the Rumble. But her coming back 2 weeks before to declare for the Rumble wouldn't take away from her Rumble win. That's just kind of probably how they have to do it if they can't have the surprises.
That would make the most logical sense, because we've talked about that on live streams before, that because they're doing a European tour right before the Rumble.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, like European crowds are always awesome. So having her return on the European Raw won't be the worst thing in the world. That might actually help increase the momentum for that win.
Absolutely. And that's the thing here. A Rumble victory immediately launches her back to the top of the card. She got a one-way ticket, direct course here. You're taking that flight all the way to the championship match at Mania 42 in Las Vegas again, because they ran it back. But I am genuinely excited to see where they go with her, because you and I are both under the guise that she'll be a face in this return. Yeah. All of her former rivals are now heels. I know, right? And does she return as like a scorned heel, furious that her spot was stolen and Roxanne encroached on her man, and or does she come back as a massive babyface carried by the cheers of fans who have missed her and adore her and want to see her and Dirty Dirty Dom go ahead and be the ultimate power couple?
A lot of people think babyface. Some fans think heel. That a lot of people think babyface because, like what you just mentioned, Nikki Bella, the Kabuki Warriors, Raquel, Roxanne, Becky. She's had some beef with here and there too. Like all of them, from when she's left, have turned heel.
Yeah.
So,
and as a face, she can still feud with Rhea and others. They have face versus face often. It's not like they avoid that entirely.
Because Punk and Cena would be like the Liv and Rhea for the women's division, I think, because Punk and Cena were both baby faces when they were feuding for the most part in 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. But with that, though, like, how can you go be a heel if you have to run back all your rivalries, like the reports are saying, right before you get to Raquel and Dan. So you have Becky Lynch, you have to go through
Yeah.
Nikki Bella, the Kabuki Warriors, all
All
of them
heels.
which are now heels. So
So some
you're
people
going
were
to do heel versus heel
speculating.
for all those rivalries.
Yeah, and we wondered too, like if she comes back for War Games, you kind of don't need her yet because if you bring her back, she's not ready to wrestle or compete in ring. It really muddies the waters of what they could allow to transpire on our TVs. So if she comes back this week, upcoming weekend for War Games, and people are saying like, oh, it is a possibility. Granted, it could be, but the thing is where does it go from there? You get the moment, and WWE is very focused on moments, but the breakup of the Judgment Day, she doesn't need the title right away. She could do other things, but I would prefer to see her come back, win the Rumble, and biff bam boom straight to the moon.
This is where I like to play like the other side of things. Like, so for example, like some fan bases have said, like she can return and will have momentum for the story in the long term if she's just a mic piece every week.
Absolutely,
I don't think
but
it advances the story that much. She's gotten better on the mic and she's improved drastically on the mic from a few years ago. Yes.
yeah.
But where does that get you storyline wise if she's just going out cutting promos every week without getting physical? And if you want the Judgment Day breakup to happen, she's just going to stand there and watch.
Somebody's got to get their ass kicked. Exactly. So
and she's just going to watch Dominic get beat up.
Yeah, you and I have our minds kind of made up. I mean, we're open to any suggestion, but it seems like if they were to do, Survivor Series War Games, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities.
So,
but you and I are definitely thinking the Rumble. Yeah.
If she's winning the Rumble, I think she's returning in January. I don't think she's returning at the Rumble. I think we'll see her on a few weeks before on a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
I absolutely agree because of how they have to set it up this year. Yeah.
If Dominic is winning this Sunday, then the chances increase she's returning next Sunday at the Survivor Series event. So would you say that Dominic's only way of winning is her returning, or do you have a turmoil there? Like Dominic isn't aware of it. Roxanne trying to mess with Liv's head, helping Dominic beat Cena.
Yeah. I mean, that Roxanne and Raquel could help him win. And like you said, that steps in Rhea's or Liv's way. Here's the thing, too. Like, Dom can beat Cena without any help. He can do his, Eddie Guerrero as his father's, cheating stuff, and the fans get behind it.
Dominic loses, Liv's not returning.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't make sense. Dominic loses, then the Judgment Day betrays Dominic just for Liv to return then.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't have Liv to come out to help him against Cena?
Exactly. Right? So a lot of the what are you doing here thing doesn't work. You can't really have
Dominic
the full surprise.
Has to win in order for Liv to return. And I don't think Dominic winning is the biggest possibility. I want it to happen because I don't think John Cena versus Gunther should be a thing for the Intercontinental Championship. But I want it to happen. But like people have pointed out, as you yourself, it doesn't hurt John Cena or Dominic for John Cena to win. It hurts the tournament if John Cena loses.
Exactly. And, you and I kind of have our minds made up. And we said the most likely scenario is a quote unquote surprise entry in the women's 2026 Rumble match. It's a perfect stage. It makes her a huge star for the comeback. And then from there, it's all about the journey to WrestleMania. So her revenge tour could live again, per se. You know what made her popular? It's logical. It's exciting. I'm open to other avenues, but for me, it just makes sense. But now I want to ask you, the audience, what do you guys think? Do you think Liv Morgan is going to make her return at the Survivor Series War Games PLE?
You, Jake,
yeah.
Before we ask something. So do you think we physically see her again at the Rumble or a few weeks before during the year?
2 weeks before the Rumble is my guess. I genuinely feel like that's when we're going to go ahead and see her make her, surprise entry declaring return.
The beginning of January.
Yeah, somewhere, before the 31st. That's my honest take on
middle of January.
In that realm,
My math isn't there. Fuck it.
Hey, that's all right. I'm excited, though. I want to know what the audience thinks. That's why we're asking you. Where do you think she'll make her return? Does she come back as a hero, as a villain, face, heel? Let me know your fantasy booking scenarios in the comments down below. Tell Cody and I, are you as hyped up for Liv's return as we are? We'll find out. So go ahead and hit that like button. We've got a ton of content coming up this week for Thanksgiving. We got the Raw review. This Tuesday, we've got Into Somewhere Weekly going on a little bit early. We're going to have our predictions for War Games with you guys in the community. So I'll let you know how that's going to go down. You can join us for predictions. Wednesday, we get Into Somewhere officially weekly. Thursday, I'll be live talking to Liz about her Dynamite experience from AEW, as well as the Collision taping. And then, this upcoming weekend, we've got the one, the only... War Games! War Games! So, going to be a very exciting time for Cody and Jake. Check out all our info in the description box down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you all later. Stay sexy.